Welcome St. Marians. Today we are having class 9th geography classes, and in this online session this is the first period for geography classes. So we are going to have the book for this academic session is Total Geography, and this book is published by Morning Star Publication, and this book is same which was continuing last year. So you can have the old book, otherwise you can purchase the new book. Both options are there. So let's have a look which chapter we are going to start today. So today we are going to start chapter number 1. So this chapter number 1 indicates the earth as a planet. So in this chapter we'll discuss about the shape of the earth as the home of humankind, and that conditions of that exist on the earth for the life. So let's continue with the topic. The first topic is the shape of the earth. So let's have a look on the video. So let's start with the first topic, shape of the earth. Shape of the earth is not perfect sphere. It bulges slightly at center and flattened at the poles. But in olden days it was considered that earth is a flat like disc and having the steep edges. In 5th century, Aryabhatta, the Indian astronomer and mathematician, believed that the earth is having round shape, and same was proved by the Greek philosopher Pythagoras. But in nowadays we are having enough proof to prove that the earth is spherical in shape. So let's have the first example or the first proof, that is Bedford level experiment. So what was Bedford level experiment? He used 3 poles after 5 kilometer distance. So you can see here the first pole, second pole and third pole. So if the earth is having the flat surface, these poles may have the same vision from the starting one or end one. But the earth is not flat in surface, earth is spherical in shape, so the middle one is having the higher than these two. So it means that the earth is spherical in shape. So this proved by the Bedford experiment that the earth is spherical in shape. So the next example or the next proof having near about the same, the sighting of the ship. So when we are standing on the seashore and we are watching the ship, so ships are not look like all together at once. So you can see the first picture, it is flat surface, and in this flat surface we are having all the ships, means we are watching all the ship in equal way, means that whole vision of the ships are being seen. But in second picture we are watching that first we are watching the top of the ship, and then we are watching that next part of the ship. Why it is so? Because the earth is spherical in shape. So when this ship will come there, first we will see only the top of the ship, and then we will see the rest part of the ship. You can see from that line that first we are watching that upper part of the ship, and then we are watching that another part of the ship. So this proves that the earth is spherical in shape. Next proof we are having to prove that earth is spherical in shape, that pole star. We know, everyone know about pole star. Pole star is having the location of north pole. So we can say so that on north pole we are having this 90 degree, and while we are coming down, then the angle is slightly decreasing. So here 67, here 45. So it means so that the angle of the light of the pole star is changing while we are coming down from poles. So it is clear that the earth is spherical in shape. You can see so say so. If the earth may flat, then the angle may be like this, but it is not like this. So we can say so it is reducing with that distance. So earth is spherical in shape. We can have the example of pole star also. So first we can say so near the pole it is 67. When we are going away from the pole, it is decreasing now 45. So this is that proof that the earth is spherical in shape. Next we are going to discuss satellite picture. All of you are watching TV, and many times they are giving our weather forecast. So in that weather forecast they are showing us telecast that picture of satellite. So while you are watching the satellite picture of earth, it is round in shape. So it is also a proof that earth is spherical in shape. So the next proof is lunar eclipse. We can see that while that earth comes between moon and the sun. So what happened? That shadow of the earth becomes large, and the moon is not visible to the another part of the earth. So in that way we can say so that earth is circular in shape, or earth is spherical in shape. While we are watching that lunar eclipse, then slowly it is coming down, and we can see that moon is having that different shapes till 15 days. So that is due to that shade of that earth on the moon, because moon is not having its own light. The light comes only on the moon after reflecting from the earth. So that shadow on the earth, shadow on the moon is changing day by day due to rotation and revolution of the earth and moon, and that's why we can say so that earth is spherical in shape. So the next we are going to discuss that circular horizon. So circular horizon can be understood very easily while we are having the radio waves. So frequency of radio waves is different on different places. If the earth was picture that sunrise held in the morning in east. Why? Because the earth rotates from west to east. So that's why that people can see that sunlight in the morning east side first, and while the sunset is there, it held in west side. But usually the sun neither sets nor rise. The sun is having its own position, and the earth rotates around the sun. That's why it is illusion of people on earth only that it is sunrise and sunset. So we can say so that sunrise and sunset is also proving. Why? Because if the earth was flat like that, then sun rays may come to the whole earth in the same way, not like this, that some place they are coming earlier, some place they are coming afterwards. So it is proved that the earth is spherical in shape. So the next one we are going to discuss circumnavigation. So Ferdinand Magellan, we know well that he was the person who has completed that voyage of that world in 1522, and his ship returned to the same place from where he started, from Spain. So what does it mean? It means that the earth is spherical in shape. If that earth was flat, then the ship may not return on the same place, because on flat surface you cannot come on the same place afterwards. So we can prove that the earth is spherical in shape. So the next topic which we are going to discuss, this is very interesting one, that the earth is the home of humankind. Means we are living on the earth, and that is only because of that earth specific features. So first one we are going to discuss the distance from the sea. So that earth is having neither that much or nor too less. Means the earth stands on the third place in the solar system. So Venus and Mars, Venus and Mercury, these two are having more temperature. So if we are discussing about Mercury, the temperature is near about 400 degrees centigrade, and while we are discussing about Venus, that it is second highest temperature in that solar system, and rest of that planets are having near below the 0 degree temperature. So neither too hot nor too cold. The average mean temperature of the earth is 17 degrees centigrade because of that distance from the sun. So we are having the unique feature of the earth. It is having that appropriate distance from the sun so that the life is possible. So second point we are going to discuss about temperature. So temperature, I have recently told that 17 degrees average temperature of the earth is 17 degrees centigrade. So on that temperature the life is possible. If it was too high then it was not possible. If it is too low then also it was not possible. So the next topic is atmosphere. So we know well that atmosphere is made of three important gases, nitrogen 78%, oxygen 21%, and carbon dioxide and water vapors and other gases 1%. So in 1% we are having ozone also, in 1% we are having helium also, in 1% we are having many gases. So first of all we are discussing about oxygen. So oxygen is present in an atmosphere, that is the lifeline of the earth, and in the same way that carbon dioxide is also there, so it keep the earth warm. Otherwise that temperature of earth may cool down during the nights and we may not survive. And in the same way nitrogen is also very important for that plants. So due to this atmosphere or due to these gases present in the atmosphere, we are living on the earth in such a way that comfortably we are living our life. So the next one, water. So the water, 70% of earth is covered by the water, and that is very necessary for human life. So you have seen that without water the life is not possible on the earth, and due to that presence of 70% of water, the earth is also known as blue planet. So the next we are going to discuss about all these three spheres of life. So which are these one? These are lithosphere, biosphere, and atmosphere, and hydrosphere. So biosphere is that narrow realm of contact and interaction between that atmosphere, lithosphere, and hydrosphere. So atmosphere, we know well that it made of air. Different gases are there in this one. Lithosphere means that landform, means it is made of rocks and land. And the next one is hydrosphere, means water. So all these three, atmosphere, lithosphere, and hydrosphere, are making biosphere. So what is biosphere? Biosphere, I have already told that it is that narrow realm of contact and interaction. So you can see here, this is a hydrosphere in which we are having the contact with atmosphere, and this is lithosphere. So lithosphere is necessary because without lithosphere the hydrosphere is not having any impact. And atmosphere is also necessary because of that essential gases like oxygen, these animals are surviving on the earth. So we can say so that biosphere is the narrow zone of contact and interaction. So this lithosphere interacting and this atmosphere also interacting. So this cycle of these three, lithosphere, atmosphere, and hydrosphere, is known as biosphere, and which is necessary for human life, and that is only possible on earth. So biosphere is also very important. Next one we are going to discuss about living life giving cycles, and in this first one is nutrition cycle. So we know well that some are autotrophs. Autotrophs, you have read about that plants are autotrophs because they are making their food from sunlight. And who are eating the autotrophs? Those are herbivorous. So that sun is giving that energy to that plants, and plants are eaten by herbivorous. Herbivorous are eaten by carnivores, and then we are having decomposers, and after decomposers that it is nutrients are going to the plants. So these were the human cycle, but important one is in middle, that is human being, and it is eating autotrophs also, it is eating herbivores also. So man is omnivore, so this way nutrition cycle is going to complete in our on our earth. So the next or last cycle which is remaining, that we are going to discuss about carbon cycle. So that carbon cycle is that basic of raw material, or all living things contain carbon. Atmosphere is also having carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide is very important factor, because without carbon dioxide that photosynthesis is not possible. And if photosynthesis will not possible, then plants will not be there, and if plants will not be there, then oxygen will not be there, and if oxygen will not be there, then respiration will not be there, and then in that case that life is not possible. So we can say so that carbon dioxide is very important, because during that process of photosynthesis, that carbon dioxide is taken from the atmosphere and it is converted into oxygen, and then again animals or that human beings are taking that oxygen and they are converting into carbon